there is one thing that happens only every 6 months in crypto, and today is the day when it's happening. Not only that, I've got a bunch of alpha for you every single second of every single day when we do a live show here. Guys, I haven't been here for the last week. I was visiting the first ever crypto conference in Monaco. I was speaking. I'm gonna bring you a whole episode on later in the week, but there's a bunch of stuff to talk about. There are not only trades to be taken, there are not only charts to be looked at, but also there's this one thing that only happens every 6 months. So we're gonna talk about that. If you are here, let me know. If you don't know who I am, my name is Fefe, and I bring you all the alpha you need in crypto. The whole idea about the show is you watch this one show and you don't need anything else for the next 24 hours. I give you charts, I give you updates on stuff that you might not have known, combined with my X, and combined here, bring you everything you need to know. If you're here, let me know in the chat. Smash the like button and we're gonna jump into it. Coffee in hand, GM to all. Let's get it, let's get it, let's get it. Show the new Formula 1 movie with Brad Pitt yesterday. I have not seen that yet. Need a 100 likes for the show to start, fam. Exactly, that's right. Today I don't even care. You know, if you like, you like. You don't. It's your call. Let's destroy fam with the likes. Yes, please. How's the fast? Done. The fast is done. Where is the 4K? Guys, how did your speech go? My speech was very good. I think it was very cool. We're editing it. It's gonna be out by Wednesday. Just waiting for some footage. It's gonna be amazing. It was titled Bitcoin, the most misunderstood revolution of our time. So it is going to be awesome. We'll share it with you. All right, let's jump in here. So one is that there is truly, it's not a clickbaity thing. There is truly one thing that happens every 6 months in crypto, and it is very, very relevant. And that thing is the quarterly close. So today we have the monthly close, right? So if you look at this, we have the monthly close of the charts. We have the 3-month close, which is the quarterly close. This is the second quarter of the year. And then we have the 6 months close, 6 months candle close. And the reason why this is super interesting and super important, and the reason why we all have to talk about it, is because we're looking at an extremely, extremely bullish couple of months, in my opinion. And today can be the beginning of that unstoppable rally, if you will. Now, if you look at it, you know, you've got candles, and we're always looking at the weekly close, and we're always looking at like the weekly close, and we're always looking at how they did. Now, the weekly close was absolutely bullish. So if you look at this, this is not only a massive engulfing candle that closed above the previous high, but also it's just like there is no wicks on top. There was not much volatility at the end of the week, meaning the market is extremely bullish and pricing in a very bullish continuation. Also very important to not forget is that when we got down here on the weekly OB down here, that was at 3 trillion-ish. This is what we've been discussing. We literally just retested that. And the first candle after the retest to that weekly OB is a massive engulfing, very, very strong bullish candle. And I tweeted this and I said on the 22nd of June, which is basically almost the very bottom, I said, I bet my reputation on me, you will regret not buying here. Everybody was calling for lower. Everybody's saying it's going to be 65,000 Bitcoin. Everybody's saying it's going to be like 70,000. Everybody's saying that it was over. And I was telling you, and I was sticking to my guns, and I said, you will regret not buying here. And they said, yes, my account is down because I'm layering in for the next leg up, but I knew there have to be, I knew, and I've been saying that further drop is a possibility. Liquidation price is at 50-60%. And yeah, you can be sarcastic as you want. I'm adding to positions, the recovery will fail smelting. And as you see, this is part of the recovery we have on last week. We had a 10% pump on the total market cap. Again, this is after this 22nd. This is actually, the week started on 23rd actually. So I tweeted this on last Sunday, about a week ago. Now, why is this interesting? The weekly is bullish. You look at the monthly close, and the monthly close is somewhat bullish. Why? Because even though we have this crazy freaking volatility with the war in Iran and Israel and the US getting involved directly with the war, we closed above than the previous month. Which is insane because the previous month have been extremely bullish as well. Like if you look at previous month low and previous month close, it's about 13%. If you look at this month low and this month close, the previous month is about 10%. It's going to be about 13%. So what I'm looking at is that the monthly is also very, very bullish. And then you start looking at the quarterly closes. Why quarters are important? Because Bitcoin is getting more institutionalized. Institutions do rebalancing every quarter. They look at how the quarter has been going and they make their decisions based off of that. So if you look at this, the 3-month chart could not be more bullish either. Like the last time we've seen that was right here when there was a massive bullish pattern. There was a pullback, which was this red candle 2021 April, and then we had two massive pumps. So from the close of that bearish candle on the quarter, we had about 100% on the total market cap. So from here, 100%, we're looking at 4 or 5 trillion in the next 2 quarters, as we've seen here previously, if history repeats itself. So why is that relevant? Because then you can look at the 6 months chart, and you can see that on a 6 months perspective, on a 6 months candle, this is something that we call a pin bar. This candle is extremely bullish. Why? Because the wick shows the volatility and shows that the past 6 months, as Trump came into office, there was a 40, 50%, 20, 26, 27% drawdown on the total, but the market could close above the previous 6 months close, indicating that there is massive amount of interest and buying pressure happening here, which is very, very, very bullish. So if you look at all this, today is the weekly close. Yesterday was the weekly close. Today is the monthly close, the 3-month close, and the 6 months close. All of them showing massive, massive strength. Why is that relevant? It's very relevant because maybe on a lower time frame, you're looking at trades and whatever, Bitcoin might dip another 3-4% and whatnot. But you have to know that we're on a larger time frame looking at the next 2 months, 2 quarters, so 6 months. I do think we're in for an extreme rally. Now, one thing that we need is a narrative. And so the next narrative, in my opinion, is ETF coins, which might be happening even this week. We're going to talk about it in a second. But I put out this vote and I said, which tokens, I had a lot of discussion with some of the friends, some of my friends, we're in the industry for a long time, and I was like, what do you guys think was going to run harder? Like tokens that have been or will be approved as ETFs. We're talking about Bitcoin, Ethereum, Solana coming up very soon, 𝗬𝗎, Cardano. I'm going to talk about it in a second, but ETF approved coins, tokens with the best second team. You know, a lot of people argue that it's going to be, life changing. It's going to be the next bull run and this and that, and with the next these team has everything it needs to do this and that, or it's gonna be memes. And not surprisingly to me, it is 44% of you voted ETF tokens, 32% said memes, and 23% only best second team. This shows clearly what I believe is going to be the next big step. One, ETF coins. Why? Because capital will flow. Imagine, remember what the ETF did to ETH, what it did to Bitcoin, what a catalyst that was. Imagine if retail and I mean TradeFi will be able to buy Solana, 𝗬𝗎, Cardano, any, so to say, degen token compared to Bitcoin and Ethereum through an ETF. That is going to be massive. So I do think that the next narrative is undoubtedly going to be ETF tokens, and we have to front run that. And also if staking comes, that is going to be the ETF tokens with their respective ecosystems, right? But then the question comes, okay, so are they going to start going into gambling? Or are they going to start, if they make money, is it going to ripple down as it rippled down in 2017 and 2021? And the reality is that I don't think so, that it's going to ripple down to tech. And I'll tell you why. Because when you, as soon as you want to gamble, you made so much money, oh my God, what's going to be the next runner? You're not going to buy a multi-billion-dollar protocol that has the best team and tech that does the zero knowledge technology on layer 2. You're not going to do that. Why? Because what you want to do, you understand that you're putting your money in so you can make 100x. You're definitely going to go to memes, if anywhere. And so I believe it's going to be ETF tokens, it is going to be memes, and only the next cycle, when there will be the massive pullback in the ETFs as well, people will realize the potential and start investing in other tech-based or tech-valued project or utility projects as well. So for now, all I'm looking at is ETF tokens and memes, but memes are a little bit later. Now, my position is I wanted to give you an update. What's happening in the chat here? Is everybody good here? I bought Fefe. I'm so happy. Good to see you, sir. I'm so happy to be here as well. We'll start doing TA for stocks. Yes, I will. Yes, you're listening. Why did you ask this question? We're just talking about it. 100x Club G. Not today. Not today. So many plays. The weekly. Maybe look okay, but my portfolio is crying. I'm so sorry. It's coming. What are we scalping? Who's here for the tech of altcoins? I'm tech. What's up, Fefe? Exactly. No VCs. When? I think it's happening. I think I got information from them. It's happening very soon. I think it's 𝗏𝗏𝗏 is coming very, very soon. I'm super excited. Brett always review apps, please. Brett always lead the way in memes. Thanks, Fefe. Didn't Pengu might get an ETF listing. Yes. So here is an account update. I told you. So started. I think. Let me just look at the assets here. So this is the account. I don't ever run accounts openly. This is 𝗏𝗏𝗡, by the way, non-KYC available worldwide. They custody a third-party custodian, which I really like. So it's Fireblocks. So even if they go bust, anything happens to them, your money is safe. But they won't go. Like I know the guys. I like the guys. I think 𝗏𝗏𝗡 is absolutely incredible. There's a link in the description. But so
it's pinned.
What is it?
It's pinned.
It's pinned. Cuz saying it's pinned. Oh. Because it's on the money here. It's pinned here, so you can just click here and sign up. Okay. So my account, let me just look here. So my account, this is the account that I'm running openly. I'm layering in. Is down 11%. I think. It's down. Is it the 30-day? When did we start this account? I'm just gonna try to do this. What will it do? So I'm down about 16% on the account. You see here, 16% on the account. But the reason is because I transitioned this account into scalping. What is it? Long-term layering in. So I'm not even. This is not even bothered. Not even a little bit. So here, look. Actually, it's interesting because we've been doing this previously. P&L close orders is 4,000. P&L close short orders. So we were up like massively, and I started layering in for the next leg up. But that's absolutely fine. So the count is down 16%, and I'm just layering in for the next leg up. So we're going to see how that goes. And I also kept you posted on everything I do, by the way, all the scalp trades and everything in the Telegram group. There's a link in the description, because it's also going to pin it. It's a completely free Telegram that you can just join and just get access to my thoughts. So it's pretty straightforward. So what is this whole ETF situation? So the ETFs, overall, there is a bunch of things happening, and I don't even want to repeat myself a lot, but the most important that is happening is there's a very important deadline happening today, which is Grayscale has this digital large cap ETF, GDLC, which basically put together multiple tokens within one ETF. So you could buy these ETFs that holds these larger cap tokens. We're talking about Bitcoin, Ethereum, XRP, Solana, and Cardano. So it is likely that it's going to be approved based on expectations. Now, why is this interesting? It is interesting because there is a Solana ETF that we've been discussing for a long time now, and the Solana ETF will come most likely with staking. Now, staking is important because now you're going to have an ETF, a crypto ETF. You could buy a spot Bitcoin ETF, but you can't get yield on that. Therefore, it's an asset that you hold like gold, not as tempting for investors as, for example, stock that pays dividends. So this is why the Solana ETF and the discussion around the Solana ETF with staking is very interesting, because now people will get exposure to crypto, but at the same time earn a continuous yield through staking. So the discussion with the Solana ETF is that there is no further comments from the SEC, and that means that potentially this could happen. Now the deadline is only in October. It's only in October. Okay, so you see here Solana October 10th. So you get a bunch of time. So why do we think that it can actually happen even this week? The reason is because if you have an ETF provider, Grayscale, that gets an ETF index basically approved that includes Solana, that means that there is no underlying issue with including Solana as an asset into an ETF. And if that's the case, there is no reason to just prolong the approval of the Solana ETF, because why would Wall Street want to miss out on money? You know what I mean? So like, it just doesn't make any sense. So there's one argument where you could look at this as a versatile investment opportunity where Bitcoin, ETH, and XRP, and Solana, and Cardano all at once in, and therefore it's not as risky as like Solana, the foundation does something and the whole thing rocks, or Cardano not even mentioned. But in general, the logic is that we could see an approval on the ETH ETF, the Solana ETF with staking as well. Now that's spiced up a little bit with David Sachs saying that July will be a big month. Now he's talking about a bunch of things. One is that there will be trade deals revelation coming, right? So June 8th, everybody's talking about June 8th and you have to be worried and whatnot. I do think that is completely a nothing burger. There is deals already in place with China, with Europe, with India, with Mexico. There is not going to be like a complete shit show. Trump comes out and he says like he could potentially extend the deadline, but he's not looking at extending the deadline because the deals that are made are going to be sufficient enough for the states. Now, whether there's going to be a deal with Canada or not, that's another story. But so that's one. Two, there is going to be an FOMC in July, right? So Trump is obviously pushing full power to resign. 𝗷𝗏𝗙𝗪𝗔𝗏 is Federal Reserve Chair. He already knows who's going to be the next one. The announcement is going to come. But what is important here is that interest should be at 1 to 2% instead of the 4.5% today. Guys, that's a 50% reduction. So again, I just want you to think about the long term and start kind of focusing on, I want you to think about this chart here, which I showed you now, the 6 months, because it doesn't matter what happens in this week. You don't want to be thinking about the week. You want to be thinking about the fact that there is going to be an interest rate, if not now, then from next year, May, when a new Fed chair comes in, selected by Trump, at 1.2%, that's half the interest that we have now that's going to skyrocket the market. Now, whether we're going to get a cut this month, I think we will. JP is talking on Tuesday. The only way we're not getting a cut now that the war is out, everything is if there is politicization of the Fed. If he will say, F you, Trump, we ain't cutting, it can be a problem. Now, what is interesting, I was at the Vibe Summit in Monaco, and I met the founder of Trueflation again, such a very cool guy. And he's very, very smart as well. And we've been discussing about inflation. And what he said as well, that he sees inflation that will pick up a little bit. JP should have cut already, because he basically skipped the complete cycle where the inflation basically went below 2% and now is upticking again. And he sees that potentially we are going to see an uptick in inflation throughout the year and then possibly cooling off at the end of the year. That would not be the best for the crypto market, but that could also align very well with a final push here, 1 or 2 months in the summer, and then just a chop consolidation until next May, which I've been saying that could very well be the potential of happening, because we will need a narrative. Now, alt season, altcoin. I'm gonna bring you a complete show on this in the weekend, so I don't want to deep dive into this. I'm gonna drink some water here, see what's happening. When new buys posted, I'm looking to get some fresh start now. You know, Andrew, I'm just gonna tell you something. Like, this is why I said I'm layering in, because I don't know when the next, you know, like this is like proper buying opportunities that we had here. If you didn't buy the dip, it's gonna be scalps. I don't know where you're gonna buy the dip. Is there going to be an alt season? I'm gonna do a whole video on it. Let's get here. All right. Is it possible to have 213 likes? Okay, I'm not even gonna mention it. Guys, 213 likes. You know what I'm gonna say. So alt season. What is interesting, 2022 and 2023, June was the absolute peak of bottom. So I would just not be surprised if we would see the bottom form in June this time as well. See a massive rally in the next 2-3 months, and then just consolidation and cool off into the coming year. There's a bunch of catalysts, things that I wanted to mention here, and then we're gonna jump into the chart. The big beautiful bill advances the Senate with a 51.49% or 51.49 vote. That's nothing. That's very tight, but it close, but it is happening. Texas governor signs law making gold and silver legal tender in day-to-day financial transactions. It's going to happen with Bitcoin as well, and guess what people is going to pick? MicroStrategy strategy will qualify to join the S&P 500 today. The wave of demand is about to enter now. So you will be able to buy the S&P and get exposure to Bitcoin. I can't put it any other way than it's absolutely incredible. And then shout out to Bybit, because a lot of you has asked me where I buy stocks, what do I do, how do I do it? And there is an option on Bybit to buy not only stocks, but also commodities. You can trade it, you can buy it, you can hold it all within the Bybit, a crypto exchange app. Absolutely incredible. So big ass shout out to Bybit. There's a link in the description where you can find out, and Kaz also pinned it here. Kaz sees that I don't have the best mood today, so he's on spot finally, so it's good. We have it pinned here. You can just click there and sign up to Bybit. Again, if you want exposure to your crypto and stocks at the same time, this is the easiest and most convenient way to do that. Now, let's jump into the charts. I posted this in the Telegram. I posted this and I said, we're taking, I said, a quite simple setup, very good looking chart. Even if we break the 1 hour or the 4 hour low, we're targeting the daily equilibrium higher. What does this all mean? Well, it's pretty simple. So if you look at this chart, you will see that there is, I go into the hourly, there is a very, very good market structure. But first of all, I've been saying from last month as well, or when I did the show last week, the 334 is a magnet. Like this is inevitable, okay? So if we do this, or if we do this, I don't know, but it's inevitable that we are going to get to this 3.34, and then we decide what we're gonna do. Is gonna be a rejection, it's gonna be a push through, what's going to happen. But for now, this is still my target, liquidity here, so it's probably gonna be wicking through, and then we see what happens. Until then though, there is market structure that you can play off. One is, if you look at the 4 hour chart, we have an incredible recovery here. Incredible. Like it's not even, it's like, it's incredible. And so that means that you can play the hourly chart as a scalping opportunity. And this is what I posted in the Telegram. If you have not been there, if you're not there, you can take these setups as well. But I said a simple setup, even if we break the 1 hour, 4 hour low, we're targeting daily equilibrium, so you can just buy. What that means? So for example, here is a 1 hour low. Why? There's a close above here. This level closed it. So it's beautiful. You can start layering in here. Yes, buy into the market now. Not financial advice, but you can just do that. And then if we break below here, we still have a possibility to hover above the 4 hour low, which would still be completely normal. Like it wouldn't even, this is why I posted scalp trades today. It's completely normal. Like I'm not even gonna sell my positions if we close below the 1 hour low, because ultimately we're extremely bullish. So we can hover above here, above the 4 hour. And if we do, what you have to look out for is pretty simply a higher high, a market structure shift. So something like this, and then just getting there again into the same scalp positions, with lows being here in the 1 hour and here in the 4 hour. Now what happens if we break that as well? Where again, I'm not worried at all, because on the daily chart, there is a need for a retrace to the daily equilibrium, which if you pull it from the very bottom, it's going to be down here at 3.14. But I think it's worth pulling it from the actual bottom here, which was caused by the whole resolution of the war. So that would put you at about 3.16 trillion. And I do believe that a dip below there will happen, and an immediate recovery, even if it happens. All this considering that there is no touch to the 3.34 before. What do I mean by that? What I mean is that if we see this happen, this push to the 335.34, and then we come down, I'm not sure this is a buying opportunity. We're going to talk about it then, but I'm not going to be sure, because it's going to be a daily retrace to a daily supply zone, and then a steep drop that could cause us to go a little bit lower before we go higher. But for now, you can long every single 1 hour low, and you can long every single 4 hour low. And then even if we do have a drop below with built up liquidity on top, we can buy the equilibrium, and that is just how it is. So if I go down a 15-minute chart, I would be looking at a higher high formed auto-liquidating Asia. Guess what? That is exactly what happened. You see here, have a little bit of liquidation here, and then on the 5 minutes, sorry, not on the 15. You have a 15-minute market structure shift here after liquidating Asia low, so that's beautiful. What you want to do is you want to take a long position. Guess where this came back? It came back 50, even more beautiful. Let's go down a 3-minute chart. We don't have that, so we're probably going to go a little bit consolidate here, and then at some point on 3-minute and 1-minute chart, you're going to get higher high, and then you're just going to start pumping. Very simple. So that said, I do believe that we are going to see a push straight into the 3.34 trillion. I have taken these call positions that I posted. So if you go on to futures, not here. Here's the futures. I love Bluefin. They have coin and futures as well. Bluefin with the non-KYC is just absolutely incredible. So anyway, so I took these trades as well. I posted them in the Telegram. I'm here on Doge and ETH. Doge and BNB. The ones that I posted here. So I'm in these two trades as well, and nothing really changed from what I have suggested there. 3.34 is the target. I'm taking these BNB and Doge scalps, and then we see the rest. Also, guys, I wanna tell you one thing. If you know anyone that wants to get into crypto, this is the perfect time. Guys, I'm telling you, the cohort starts today. Please join. Let your friends know, let your mom, parents, neighbors, cat, whatever that is. There's a link in the description, but Cuz is also going to pin it here. It's still not pinned, bro. It's still not pinned. Now it is. into the crypto, you can learn with Ren and me. We're gonna be on the workshop together today. So you can sign up, you can send this link to your friends, to your family, whatever that is. We teach you everything about crypto from the bottom up, like literally from the bottom up. This is the best course we dedicated the past 12 months to creating it. Absolutely incredible, absolutely incredible. So do that. Nobody gonna know, only me will get rich. I don't know what that is. If I finally can catch your live show. Your job is consuming your life. I mean, I feel you, bro. I feel you. I really feel you now. Really feel you to the bottom of my heart. Told my cat about the class. Good. I said cat owner. Cat owners club. But I mean, if you're talking to your cat, it's fine. We're in a good mood, Fefe. And then use a GRT. My brother is going to watch. Thanks for the school. So happy. You're welcome. Tough times, my G. Good to be back. Tough times, my G. Good to be back. All right. One more thing, and then we jump into the alts. Wanted to tell you about our partner, 𝗙𝗏𝗏𝗏. Again, so many people. Like, I literally just got a call from Turkey, by the way. Like, literally, like, a few hours ago. So the thing is that they have data, massive data leaks you don't even know about. Your data, healthcare data, information, phone number, name, address, email addresses, whatnot, IP. All that is stored within these data aggregators. And 𝗙𝗏𝗏𝗏 is created so they can get these data removed, so you will not get scam calls, you will not get spam calls, spam emails, all that stuff that you actually do get probably every single day or every single week away. I get so many because probably I'm a target as well, but you can get 𝗙𝗏𝗏𝗏. I got as well. You can remove your data with a click of a button. Go and check them out. There's a link in the description because it's also going to pin it. I genuinely, from the bottom of my heart, mean this is a fantastic service. It is really smart, really good, and they do protect you. They have access to 230 of these data centers. It's absolutely incredible. Where does it say that? 200 is a data broker, 270 data broker coverage. So not even 230, but 270. Anyway, go and do that. Okay, let's go. Let's do some charts here. Entries are on the spot like 𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏. When you say long, so we can long into any top 200 cards. Yeah. I mean, yeah, possibly. Why is the white kid on this channel always bullish? I don't know. INJ, let's look at INJ. Same thing here, look. I mean, 4 hour, look at this recovery. 4 hour recovery done. Retrace, they come back 50. It did. I mean, it's a buy. Again, long. Bottom down here, but long. Ultimately long. 𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏, let's look at 𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏. I haven't looked at 𝗏𝗏 for a while. Recovery came back 50. Push. 𝗏𝗏, if I would scalp it, it's like 3-4. But 𝗏𝗏 is like, look at this. Like, this thing literally came back here and had a bounce 20-30%. This is, I've been saying, you will not be able to get these entries anymore. Like, I'm telling you, like, we are going to have a point where this thing is going to start fucking rolling. And I know, mark my words, at $4.50, people are going to come back and ask for an entry. Entry is now. Is now. What else do we have here? ETH, beautiful. I think ETH, we're not ready for the face melting ETH roller that's coming. I'm serious. Like, all the tokenization, everything's... Look at this. Like, I've been screaming at you all. I've been screaming. And I said, ETH came back 50 on the weekly and the daily. Buy. No. It's up 12, 30, 50%. This thing is going all the way. 3,500. Easy. Easy in the next 3 months, I think. If the white is the Sheldon is the best. Yeah, he caught the bottom. Okay. 7 times. 𝗏 or render? 𝗏. Say your 𝗏𝗏𝗏, neither. But 𝗏𝗏𝗏. Arrow or Jupiter? Jupiter. Cardano, let's do Cardano as well. Also, I just want to say, guys, I think you need to vet your influences. Like, I'm not even fucking kidding. Like if you like you just have to make sure that you're not being catfished, you know? It's just super important. Like you can tell me whatever you want to tell me. I tell you, go back to the past 3 months, 2 months, see what people were saying. And if they were right, awesome. If they weren't, we have work to do. Okay, let's go back here. 58 recovery comes back 50, beautiful. Cardano as well. Like it's and I'm not unfortunate, but I mean this is like decent, bro. Like, this is like super decent. 10%. This will hold. I'm actually probably gonna take a position here. If they approve, if this thing gets approved, I'm telling you, Cardano goes 50% in no time. I'm actually gonna take this. I don't know if I have any margin left. I don't have margin left. I'm all in on the account here. Should I just close some, but I don't want to close like 𝗙𝗚. Sui's down a little bit. Athena. I don't want to close any of these things. I mean, probably it's better. It's much better to take that trade than to take any of these trades. But I might just put more money on the account. By the way, I'm gonna close a little bit. I'm gonna close 50% on my Bitcoin long. Hold on a second. 50%, and then just let's do market close 50%, 50, and then I'm gonna open a Cardano long here. Yeah, I'm gonna open a Cardano long here. It's gonna be 10% down here. What is it? Yeah, 4.9. Yeah, I'm gonna put it at like 0.49. It's worth the risk. 13, let's say 15. Yeah, it's worth the risk. So I'm going to open this up here. The market 10x. So I'm gonna put about, I'm actually gonna do 5x. Actually gonna do 7x. I'm gonna do 7x, buy long, and then my stop loss is going to be right here at 0.495. 0.495. I think it's a good trade. By the way, also important to note, like, this is also like, I'm gonna close this. If we get an approval, I'm just gonna close this. But it's also worth noting, where is my Aptos? Like this trade, we proper took it on show at 3x leverage up 40%. Like I literally did the same thing with Aptos here, just sitting here, and I'm like, I'm gonna take this position and tick, and it was fine. So, okay, guys. I'm gonna leave. I appreciate you. I am not gonna be available on shows for the coming week. I'm traveling again. But once I'm back, we go all in. I'm gonna keep you posted on the Telegram. I'm gonna keep you posted. I'm gonna try to do shows. So we're gonna try to do that. I'm gonna have a weekend show as well. We'll see how it goes. But otherwise, you can always reach me on X. I'm gonna share with you all my thoughts on there. Link in the description to all my socials. And also come and join the Telegram, because whenever it happens, this is the easiest way for me to upgrade or update you. I also have a vlog. I'm covering everything here, so it's worth checking out. We're dropping an incredible video from Las Vegas. And then also there's a trading channel that I'm running, and we're gonna build up massively with all the trading education, everything I know. It's the 100x Club, because it's going to pin it in the comments as well. Go and subscribe there. I do have a bunch of trading education and much more, so go and do that. Guys, I appreciate you. I appreciate all of you. Safe travels. Thank you so much. Always, always, always. I believe I will see you in the next one. Take care. Have fun.